Welcome, movie fans. Thanks for joining us for episode 130 of Reading Between the Reels, the premier podcast of insufferable Bane impressions. If you're a new listener, we're so glad you found us, and if you've been enjoying the show, please like, follow, and subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can also support the show by posting on your socials and by joining our Facebook group. I'm Craig Dickinson, and I'm joined by Justin Eldon. Corey's out tonight. How's it going, Justin?
Good. Hello. Happy to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back, dude. Missed you. What have you been watching this last little bit since we talked?
Well, I watched The Dark Knight Rises a couple times to determine how I feel about this film. But I've been, binge watching Monster, season 3 on Netflix with Ed Gein, the serial killer who has several movies based off of him, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that guy. And anyway, that's been interesting.
Yeah,
it was one of those things that started off really good, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really into this, and then you keep watching, and you're like, oh, this is not great. This is it was touted as some based on real events, and it slowly gets more away from real events.
Oh, really?
Okay. I don't know. It's about, like I said, it's about the serial killer, and he dug up bodies and made suits out of them in real life. It's like, that story is interesting enough. We don't need to add extras to that. And that's what the season does. And I don't know. I was already invested, so I had to keep going.
Pot committed. Yeah.
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 What have you been watching?
Well, you know what? The last time Corey and I talked and you were not able to be here, I just finished Alien Earth. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Do I, though?
We try not to be negative on the show too much, but yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
So Craig and I are both Alien fans. We like the franchise. Yes. And I think we're a couple of the few fans that really like the prequels. Well, yeah, the kind of ish prequels, Prometheus and Covenant. Those movies are awesome.
Agreed.
So when Alien Earth came out, we were both super excited, and I think we held out hope for longer than we should have that it was going to make the right decision, and it just never did.
Nope. Yeah.
Continually disappointed.
Yeah, and especially after Romulus, which is fine. That's not. I don't love it. I need to see it again, but that connected to the prequels to Prometheus with the Black Goo and Covenant, where this one seemed to overwrite a lot of things, even if not explicitly, implicitly. But then it wasn't very good. Well, it just wasn't a good show. So there was kind of it's really easy to just write that off and be like, nah, it's fine. It exists in this parallel weird universe, and I've said multiple times it would have been better as a Blade Runner series than an Alien one, as much as they talked about synthetics and nature of life and all those things.
And I don't think it was I don't think it was a bad show per se. I think the problem is, as you said multiple times, the problem is that it was a prequel to the other movie, the main movie. So, and as a prequel, you have certain goalposts that you have to hit or score, go through. I don't know how sports work.
There's things you got to do.
Things you got to do. So as a prequel, you got to do that. If they would have just set it in the future or in the same universe even, but not as a prequel to the main events that the audience has loved for, half a decade or half a century ish. That would have been a lot better, but it was really sad, and they were slowly running out. Every single week we would watch it and we're like, they're going to tie it in. They're going to make it make sense. And it got further and further away from where it needed to be. And there's even 2 episodes that I felt were an homage to the original movie in there. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it. But there were 2 episodes in there that were an homage, and those 2 episodes were actually really, really good. and then you went back to the regular episodes, and you're like, "Oh, what happened?" No,
never mind.
Like you had it right. Do that thing. You can do it. You just chose not to. So,
yeah, I could opine for a while, but yeah, just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But what I will say, what I did enjoy is, I don't know how I got on this kick. Sometimes I just get on this mode. I want to just watch certain things that remind me of certain things. For some reason, I'm fascinated by pre-Marvel, pre-Star Wars Disney. It was not that long ago. Last year I talked about where I rewatched the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I've anybody that knows me knows I love National Treasure. Both of those movies, and those scores are far better than those movies. Although I love those movies, but the score too is just so much better than those movies deserve. But recently,
I'm gonna push back on that with Pirates. Pirates is like a fantastic film.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, so I'm thinking more National Treasure. Like the score,
okay.
The score for National Treasure is just ridiculous. Good movie though. Anyway, I rewatched The Lone Ranger. I hadn't seen that in a while. Watched that with my kids. They had never seen it, and you go in with low expectations, and it's pretty fun. I mean, it's from the guys that made Pirates of the Caribbean, like all of them, including Johnny Depp playing an Indian guy, which, make of that what you will. But it's fun. It's a good way to just lose 2.5 hours. So I enjoyed that. Again, good score, some good action set pieces, some kind of funny lines, and Johnny Depp being Johnny Depp. So you got that. And then with Tron Ares coming out, which I have seen, and I liked it okay. I rewatched Tron and Tron Legacy, which I love. So it was kind of like, hey, remember when Disney used to make their own stuff? And most of the time,
cool. That was a fun
pretty
time.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of miss that. So
I do remember when they started doing that, and everyone's like, "You're gonna make a movie based on a ride," but it worked somehow. I don't know how it worked, but it did.
I mean, they did try and do that with Haunted Mansion a couple of times, and it bombed. Like that's what you would have assumed.
That's true.
But Pirates,
we tend to forget that.
We forget that real easily. No, we did it. No, we didn't do that before. Yeah, you totally did. But yeah, no, the Pirates movies are fun. Anyway, though, as Justin alluded to, tonight we are talking about, we're beginning to talk about, I should say, The Dark Knight Rises, as we continue our series on the films of Christopher Nolan. And Justin, we've kind of talked a little bit, but I've tried to keep you from telling me exactly what you think about the film.
I've been bursting at the seams wanting to say things to Craig, and he's like, save it for the podcast.
Save it for the show. So overall thoughts, at least to begin with, Justin, on The Dark Knight Rises.
I'm really excited to talk about this movie, but not for the reasons you think. I like making fun of things. It's one of my favorite things to do. And we've been doing so many Christopher Nolan films that I haven't really been able to make fun of a whole lot because, gosh darn it, Christopher, you make some good movies, so there's not a whole lot to like make fun of. But this one, what happened, buddy?
Oh.
What happened, man? You fell short here. You doing okay, little man? Like, what? Oh, I don't know. It was so I guess overall thoughts. Reel it back in. As far as movies go, as far as superhero movies go, it is a good film. In terms of this particular franchise, it let me down because the other two are so good. And this one is the weakest. I don't think anyone would disagree that it's the weakest, but it's like by a wide margin the weakest. And it has some fantastic parts. Really good job. Bane is fantastic. I know he gets a lot of crap for his voice, but like I think Tom Hardy kills it. Gary Oldman kills it like he always does. Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, like they're awesome. But just overall, I just felt like it was less than the sum of its parts. I think I've used that analogy before, but
yeah.
Oh, we got Ben Mendelsohn in here too.
Yeah,
for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's great. I love him in everything. Anyway, Craig, what do you give me your thoughts? I know you're a little more positive about this.
I really like the film. I mean, I think it also, like, I know it has the reputation it has, and I think that actually kind of helped a little bit. That I was like waiting for it to suck, and then I didn't feel like it ever did. And also, having watched, the Nolan films in order and in fairly close proximity to each other, like I feel like you can actually see Nolan's growth as a filmmaker here. in certain ways, where it just feel like on the grander scale, it just feels bigger. Like he's going to stretch in some of those muscles that he's learned from The Dark Knight, obviously, and even Inception, where certain films, it just felt more epic, felt bigger. And it's a long film too. I mean, there's a lot. That's one of the things I keep coming back with, like the themes of this film. Like it's 164 minutes, so it's long period. There's an 8-year gap between the previous entry and then this one. And then the film itself takes place over 5 months. So there's just like this weight of that. I don't think you can separate that because of all the time, like how long you're sitting through it, how much time is passing in the film, how long you've been waiting. It was 4 years between this and the previous movie too, which is also a long time. So there's just a lot of weight to this film, for better or for worse.
Sets you up for high expectations.
Yeah. So, and I know I can't wait till we get into this a little bit more, because I want to hear, not that I want to like refute, or not necessarily, but I'm interested to hear what you think are some of its weaker points, and what I thought about those. Did that not bother me, or did I not notice? What have you? So, yeah, let's dig into the visuals. Let's talk about composition, color, camera work, all the cinematography stuff. What are some things that jumped out to you?
I feel like it's not really anything we haven't said about his films previously, especially specifically these Batman films. This movie, though, was not, like, visually, was not as dark as the previous two, which I think is not a good thing. Like, Batman as a character needs to exist in darkness. Like, I mean that, again, visually. Because that's who he is. Like, he's this character that creates fear in his enemies. Like the first one is all about, I'm going to create fear in my enemies, and by creating this fear, it's almost like his superpower. I'm going to like weaken them. They're going to respond slower, and they're going to make mistakes because they're scared. And I don't feel like this one really picked that up, either through the character or visually. Like, there's a lot going on in the day. Like, Bruce Wayne is, in a lot of cases, doing more than Batman himself. And there are several scenes where Batman is just straight up doing stuff in the daytime, which makes sense, I guess. Batman can't only be a nighttime superhero. But there's a lot of scenes, like the final scene at the end, the big battle in Gotham. That whole thing could have just been at night, and I think it would have benefited in just about every way visually. Like, it would have looked a lot cooler. It would have fit the tone of the previous films more. Even when the bomb goes off at the very end, like, that would have looked really cool on a dark Gotham, as you saw like the entire city light up. That would have been neat. So Nolan's decision to like put that in the day was strange. And I don't know. I feel like he set up a lot of things in the previous films, like things you'd expect in a Batman film, and then he just kind of dropped off on this one, and I don't really know why.
Okay. Yeah, some things I did like about this film.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Let's say good things.
No, you're fine. You're fine. When we always got the establishing shots of Gotham, but whereas they kind of felt just more like setting the scene, almost like an exposition type of thing. In the previous films, this one, I wrote it down immediately. Oh, there's lots of establishing shots, but the later establishing shots that you have, where you get to see the bridges being blown simultaneously, and there's no sound that goes with that, so you almost can't tell what's happening. It's almost beautiful, but it's so horrific at the same time. And I just love how subtle that is, that you're just like, oh, if you're not paying attention, you don't really know what's happening. It's like a painting that is collapsing. And so the power of that, I thought, was pretty, again, speaking of, the weight of this film, how big, how epic it is. I'm like, whether or not he succeeds, he is absolutely going for epic in this film, like as big as he can. Right. I mean, that, and along with that, the IMAX, there's so much IMAX in this film. There is, The Dark Knight had 28 minutes. Like, the whole Joker thing at the beginning was all IMAX and whatnot. There is over an hour of IMAX in this film. And especially you're looking at that first, the first 6 minutes or so where the hijacking happens, where they drop the plane. Like that whole sequence just is masterfully done. Like that I'd put up there with anything in his whole repertoire. That whole sequence is just unbelievable what's happening. And so little of that is CGI.
Yeah. And I think I would be okay. I would like that if it made sense.
Okay, what about it doesn't make sense? Specifically, the hijacking thing.
Okay, so maybe I just completely misunderstood. So Bane gets caught. So that way he can be on the plane. So that way he can fake the death of this doctor, right?
Yes.
Like the
Dr. Pavel, yeah.
But what about so the plane loses its wings and then rips him off. I don't know, rips him off 20 minutes later, then or not 20 minutes later, 10 minutes later, but you're flying at 700 miles an hour or so. Then the plane drops and crashes into just like a straight nosedive, and no one's going to look at that and be like, "Huh, I don't know if this was an accident. Why are the wings like a couple hundred miles back? That's kind of weird."
It looked cool. I hear what you're saying, though.
It did look cool.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. But also that plan completely required, no bullets to hit Bane. One of those hundreds of bullets, they had like little like Uzis or something shooting through that plane. None of them hit Bane. We had to ensure that the guys shooting through the little plane windows are going to hit all their targets before they get in the plane, but there's like several CIA agents in the plane that somehow don't hit anything.
They're not good.
A lot of things had to go right there.
That's true.
Nothing. What if something hit that doctor? That doctor had to live. A lot of bullets flying around.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool. It looks cool. I will give you that, but it just should have been cooler.
So part of the reason it looks cool is also the extreme high, extreme low angles back and forth, which is super immersive, right? Where you're like, you almost get a sense of vertigo in the way that's going. Like when they kind of rappel in. Oh, it's so cool. But some other things that I really liked camera work wise, I thought there were some interesting things that they did. One is when we meet Selena Kyle for the first time, that the camera is following her through the party, but they don't show her face at first. I thought that was kind of cool. Is that reveal?
And it's very smooth, very, like there's not a lot of shake or jiggle to the camera.
No.
Like it's on a track,
you're following her like you're a person at the party.
It's a very clean, smooth shot, which kind of like creates this idea of like she is calm, she is in control, she knows what she's doing.
Absolutely. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, sorry.
No, thank you. You had a couple of things I had too, so you say it so I don't have to. We talked about this with Blade and the fact that you have Tom Hardy, who's only 5'9", make him look like he's like 6'3", 6'4", because you've got a lot of low angle. And yes, he his workout routine was ridiculous and he bulked up like crazy. But he's 5'9", he's 5'9". Like he's wearing, boots and stuff and lifts and whatever. But you would never think that he's a smaller dude the way that this is shot. It is so masterfully done.
And he is so often smack dab in the middle of the frame. I don't know if I ever noticed him not in the middle. Mm-hmm. And often he is there by himself. Like he's closer to the camera than everybody else. Like when he's on screen, he steals the screen.
Yeah. Well, and along with that, like you did talk about, the fight that's in the snow and it's light and stuff. But part of the positive of that is that the fights that we do see in this film, like Nolan has finally adopted this wide angle where we get to actually see the fights progress, where we got, they were so close and like almost claustrophobic in Batman Begins, where we're actually seeing, choreography and stuff. I'm thinking like that, especially that one fight where Batman fights with Catwoman for the very first time on the rooftop. Like you can see all of the stuff that's going on. Finally.
Yeah, you sure can. So which brings me to another one of my complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I think I liked the other films that all the fight scenes were close up and chaotic, because that's what it was supposed to be, right? You're Batman. You're supposed to like kind of jump in, jump out like a ninja and scare people, beat them up real quick, and then run away. And the quick fight scenes lent themselves to that, whereas these wide-angle fight scenes, and maybe Nolan just doesn't quite have fighting choreography down. I know he's not the only one on set, and he's not the only one in charge of this stuff, but if you watch any of those fight scenes in that movie, I'm thinking specifically the rooftop one with Batman and Catwoman fighting off all of Bane's thugs, and then also the one in the daylight at the end in the streets. Watch any of those fight scenes and just focus on anyone that is not center frame. And they're not doing they're like punching air sometimes, or just kind of like moving around at each other. It's almost like they had like their initial set of instructions, and they're like, camera's still rolling, guys, just do something. And the more you watch it, the more apparent it becomes. And I really don't like it. I miss the other films, how they were up close, and they kept you almost going like, wait, what's going on? But which is what you're supposed to feel, because Batman's so quick.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one-on-one combat scenes, those were excellent. Like, we could probably spend this entire episode talking about just the Batman versus Bane in the sewers, that fight. Oh, awesome.
That's pretty much where I'm going. That's my first thing I had for sound effects, is just that all of the grunting and yelling by Batman.
Yeah.
Bane is silent as it goes through. So, like, if we want to just keep talking about the camera work, all of that stuff, because that fight is tremendous on so many levels.
Yeah, and that's what makes me so mad about this movie. It's like there's so much cool stuff in here. Like, that fight is fantastic, from the complete lack of music during it.
Yes.
It really like punctuates what's going on and like the solemnness of the event. And then as they're fighting, it'll cut away to like Bane's minions, who are just, again, very solemn, like watching this happen. And I couldn't get a read on what do you think was going through the minions' heads? Like, I almost took it as they're feeling bad for Batman in a way. Because they know he's about to get the crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite get a read on him. But
yeah,
it was
the relationship between Bane and his minions is interesting, right? Like, there's obviously fierce loyalty, but in one direction, right? He has no loyalty to them at all. Like, we see him like just assassinate that guy. Follow him.
Follow him.
Yeah, that's my first one.
There we go. Sorry, audience, we're going to make some really, really bad Bane
they're
impressions.
disposable.
You're just going to have to deal with it.
The guy at the beginning, we talked about that too. It's like the fire rises, right? And you just drop that. They expect one of us to stay. Find one body in the crash. So there's almost like this religious fervor, I think, when they look at him. Like, there's fear but I don't know. It's more. I think it supersedes loyalty to that point. I think it's more, it's fear, and they almost worship him in a way.
Yeah, I guess I'm still a little confused, and I'm not knocking the movie for this. I just don't fully understand kind of where Bane is within the League of Shadows, because you hear that he was excommunicated at one point. And then it doesn't really sound like he was excommunicated because he was too much of a zealot. He was almost, I think they say he was excommunicated because Ra's al Ghul couldn't stand the sight of him, because it like reminded him of his time in the prison, or his wife, or his daughter.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, and his own failure in that too. Yeah.
So if he is excommunicated, why does he have all these League of Shadows followers? Or are they not League of Shadows anymore? I guess I don't know where he stood in the hierarchy there.
Yeah, see, I don't see his minions as being, they're not League of Shadows guys. They're just mercenaries. They're just hired guns. You know what I mean? We don't see them doing ninja moves, for lack of a better term. Like, we just see them using guns and stuff.
But Bane is still following the playbook of League of Shadows, right? Like, he still wants to bring Gotham the reckoning.
Fulfill
but he's
Ra's
more
al Ghul's
doing
destiny.
That for Talia, right? Like Talia's pulling those strings. No?
Yeah, which I know some people have that as an issue. Like, they feel like he's just following her. It kind of nerfs him in a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I want I want that explored a little bit more. The Talia Bane dynamic and how she fits into that whole power structure.
Yeah.
I feel like we got that surprise right there at the end, and then they never really like followed up on that a whole lot.
Right.
Would have liked to see that.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know about you, but I remember if you saw, there was, they filmed it on the streets. I think a lot of that was in Pittsburgh, and like you could see her in that outfit. There was photos of her in that outfit from the end, and so there was a lot of people before the movie came out. There was a lot of people that were like, "Oh, she's playing Talia," and so when I saw the movie, I was like waiting for that reveal to happen, which I'm disappointed that was there. And I know there's breadcrumbs all the way through, like with some of her dialogue and stuff, but yeah, it would have been nice to have been surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't know. The lack of surprise didn't really bum me out too much. I guess just maybe earlier on in the film, so that way we could dance around it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because we don't get it till the very end, do we?
Yeah, like right there at the end.
So just some other things, just real quick on sound effects. We talked about there's no music in that scene where he's fighting Bane, which only amplifies when you get the crack of his back, which hurts. that sound works so very much.
Yeah, and Christian Bale makes some pretty weird faces in that scene, but he's probably in a lot of pain.
Yeah,
both physically and emotionally. Got his feelings hurt.
As far as soundtrack goes, a couple of diegetic things we get the national anthem, because I'm not. That's a lovely voice. I didn't do it.
What
that
a
time.
lovely voice.
Lovely voice. Okay, I did it. Didn't take much to code me into that. And then of course you have the Deshi Basara, which is roughly Arabic for rise up, that we hear. We hear that chanted, and we also hear that as part of the score. So that's kind of cool that it blends back and forth. Eerie. Just super engaging, but yeah, I mean, like you can't. That's an intrinsic part of this film too.
And that point where Bruce is in the pit. He's trying to climb his way out, and you hear that chanting.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all that sound stops right before he makes that jump.
Yes.
Until he grabs onto that ledge. That is like he's gonna make it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as an audience, like they're not gonna kill off Bruce Wayne, but you're still holding your breath, like for that jump, and that's a pretty good scene. It's
a great scene. I'm getting chills. Yeah, and then because then the cheers come roaring in as he makes it. Like there's just that.
I love how he climbs out. And there's just a rope up there, and he's like, "Here you go, guys. All right, see ya."
Yeah, everybody out.
Have fun getting out.
Yeah,
I feel like all those guys down there for all that time without any guards up top, though. You could have fashioned a ladder or something. You could have made. There's got to be a better way to get out of there. You have electricity. You're watching TV.
So much of this is metaphor, dude.
Something.
Yeah.
Who's getting you food?
Yeah. Sanitation, all the things.
They have really good health insurance too, and they've got a chiropractor down there. That's awesome.
And cable, a cable TV.
I have to wait weeks to see a chiropractor, and
That's
he's just
actually,
like on demand.
It's probably satellite.
Boom.
Actually, that wouldn't be cable out there. Got like
yeah,
direct
right.
TV or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
TV.
It works for the film.
Yeah, cable goes out. Who are you gonna call? Like direct TV? Do you think those guys are waiting on hold with Comcast? Like, hey, I was watching like Gotham News. Gotham's getting destroyed. Like,
yeah, what if it went out? That would ruin Bane's plan.
Yeah, and who's paying the bill there?
Bane.
You think Bane pays the bill?
That's his prison.
Just to mess with Bruce?
This is his prison now. He wouldn't like this.
This is his prison.
Spoken of. Mm-hmm.
His prison. You don't change the volume on that TV in Bane's prison.
Or the channel.
We keep it at 13, not 15, not 10, 13. No. Just to mess with you.
Some other great things in this film. Catwoman has a theme. Very film noir. Some like 3 quick piano notes followed by like 5 quick piano notes. First time we hear that is when she cracks Bruce's safe. We hear it multiple times throughout. This time, after hearing that the first time, I was like, what is that? I had to find out what it was. And then if you're listening for it, man, it's everywhere. Pretty much every scene that she's in. And it's great. because she really does kind of embody Hedy Lamarr. It's like it's very much meant to be this kind of classic femme fatale thing that they hammer through with the music.
And she's kind of the first character in this trilogy that's very much gray. I mean, everyone else.
Sure.
You got like good and evil, and then variations of that. You have Harvey Dent, who is more 50-50. You got Joker, who's chaotic. You got Roz, who's definitely evil, but I guess has good intentions. Whereas she's just kind of like,
she's adaptable.
She does what she does to save herself, and but at times you can see that she's totally willing to help other people out if it's convenient for her. Like she helps the kid with right before Bruce returns. She helps that kid in Gotham who stole the apple, which was so weird. Who steals apples? That just seems like something you'd see, like Aladdin. Like you see
Starving kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but like an apple.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have him stealing bag of
he's
Cheetos, a kid. He would steal hot Cheetos. That's what he'd be stealing. Let's be honest. He'd be like an apple. No, I'd rather starve. Gross.
Yeah. No thanks. We do get the return of and I hate it when trilogies don't bring back the music. This one, of course, does. Hans Zimmer's back, and so we get Molossus, the main theme, and when that kicks in, I think it's the first time we hear it is when Batman shows up again, which is like 40 minutes into the film.
Yeah,
he's not in this film that much, but yeah,
he's really not. There's more Bruce Wayne than Batman.
Yeah, but then the last. That I love a good montage. I mean, it was a great one in the last movie. They have it's called Rise. The final track is called Rise, where you get to see all the things, all the pieces kind of coming together. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's finding the cave, and Bruce is giving a nod to Alfred, and all of that stuff's happening. And Gary Oldman's pulling off the tarp off the. Well, what does it pull? Yeah, pull the tarp off the statue, and all of that stuff's happening at the same time. And great montage. Rise. So, but yeah, vocal sounds things. We have some voiceover stuff. Gordon has that voiceover speech at the beginning about Harvey Dent, kind of bringing us back in, which is nice. Again, it had been 4 years since we've seen the film, so it's nice to kind of bridge those things together. Mayor Garcia has a speech that does a similar thing, where we get to voiceover and then it cuts to what we're looking at.
And it's nice too to see. I feel like sometimes in trilogies, you get to the second or the third movie, and they almost wipe out what happened in the you have to reset back to ground zero, in order to continue the story. And this one doesn't do that. It's no, we're very much going to pick up where we left off. Look how, not where we left off, but look at how Gotham has developed and adapted, and changed in this time. They legitimately used Harvey Dent's death as a way to change the city.
Yeah. And then just the last thing I had with this, and have you read A Tale of Two Cities?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay. I read it in college.
Did you just reference me as if you were talking to someone? Justin, did you read it? Who else are you talking to?
I read it. I read it in college because I had to, and I still have the copy somewhere. I've read it multiple times. I really, really, that's one of those books I had to read, but I really liked. I liked it a lot, and so I knew immediately. And I think I'd heard that Nolan was using that as an inspiration for this film. We have the whole revolution and all of that stuff. But having that final voiceover, the eulogy thing, where it's Sidney Carton's final lines from the end of that book, is tremendous. I was like, oh, I know this. This is so great. And I used to do a reader's theater. I had a really abbreviated version when I taught 6th grade of A Tale of Two Cities, which was really cool. And
wait, slow down. What were the lines? What were the final lines?
The lines about it's a far better place I go to. That's a far better thing I've done than I've ever done. It's all about sacrifice. So you don't know the story then?
No, I'm uncultured. I'm
Quick
sorry.
Spoiler for a 100-year-old book. No, so Sidney Carton, there's a whole thing with dual identities when these two guys are doppelgangers, and Sidney Carton ends up sacrificing himself he's in love with this woman, but she's in love with this other guy who looks just like him, and he ends up taking the fall for the guy, the nobleman, and he's been just kind of the scoundrel this whole thing, and then he goes to the gallows and sacrifices himself, and it's his one moment of redemption. He does one great thing at the end of his life.
Okay. It's
a really good story. Lots of intrigue, It's
probably a classic for a reason.
Yeah, it really is. So, On a performance. I mean, my biggest thing with this one, Anne Hathaway just crushes this. I think. You don't think so? Like, I see your face.
No.
Dude.
No.
Okay, there are multiple scenes in this, and we'll talk more about it next time because we'll get into body language and stuff, where she just like flips a switch that I was like, okay, this girl can act. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Anne Hathaway. I think she's an awesome actress, and she's pretty adaptable in different roles. She's great. And there were a couple scenes in here where I really liked what she was putting on screen. But something about her, like, I lost it. Something about her, like, sexy, manipulative vibe that she's got going in order to, like, get men to do what she wants seemed really contrived, like, almost over the top. But that being said, I do think there's a lot of scenes where she does really well, like that scene in the bar when that shootout starts and like the police walk in and she like starts screaming to look like so a victim. Much. Awesome. Yep. The scene where she's sitting down with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What's his character's name? I forget. Robin, obviously, but
Blake. Yeah.
Blake. Yeah. Where she sits down with him like after she gets caught at the airport, and you can see like she's kind of grieving that Batman's dead or Bruce Wayne's probably dead. She does really well there, but just I think a lot of the scenes I have issues with is when she's opposite Christian Bale and they're doing like their weird flirty thing. It just seems weird. I don't like it. It makes me feel. What's the opposite of warm fuzzies? Uncomfortable, weird,
cold pricklies.
Cold pricklies inside. Nope, like ew, it's weird.
Sure. Okay.
I do like what Christopher Nolan did with her. Like we've talked about this to death, but he has a really good way of taking fantastical stories and then like putting them in a more grounded reality. Yeah. So like we got this nod of, okay, she's Catwoman. I don't think they ever even call her Catwoman.
Don't even call her that. Nope.
Yeah, but the fact that she has like those safe cracking goggles and she puts them on her head and those are like her cat ears. Mm-hmm. It never says cat ears, but I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Little nod.
That's cool. Makes sense.
Tip of the cap.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had that later on for costuming and stuff, but so dialogue.
You're not going to refute me making fun of Anne Hathaway? Come on.
No,
man.
that's fine. It's your opinion. It's
we got to
like, but you pointed out the scene. Like, there's a couple of. That's the first one that I was like, oh crap! Look at this. The range here is tremendous. Where she just because it comes out of nowhere where she starts screaming. Like she's just kind of being cocky, and then all of a sudden she's like, I'm super vulnerable. And then when she leaves, she does it again.
Yeah, and I feel like we don't ever really know like what is her personality. We don't really ever see that because I always feel like she has like the mask on even around Bruce sometimes, and I can't ever tell when she's playing or not, but not in a good way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to quote Bane and do a Bane impression?
Are we going into dialogue here? Because we'll do a
little bit of dialogue, and we got some stuff from Corey, and then we'll wrap for this first half.
All right. So one of my favorite lines, not because it's deep or funny or impactful, was where Bane is in that high-rise penthouse, and he's up there with Stryver, which is a character from Tale of Two Cities, by the way. Oh, hey,
the name is.
I know. I feel like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
So that actor, like that short little squirrely man, that's a cool scene. But then you also got Ben Mendelsohn up there. Anyway, yes. And puts his hand on his shoulder and, do you feel in charge? Oh, I love that line so much, only because I quote it at my children all the time. Like if one of them is, they don't know that in that scene he like later like smashes the guy's face. I don't let my kids know. They're young kids. They haven't seen this movie. But like when they're, back talking mom or something, I'll just like walk up behind them and put my hand on their shoulder. Do you feel in charge? They'll be like, Dad! And, it totally diffuses the situation, which is good because if it didn't, I'd have to Bane them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I love that line because it's just so adaptable.
Yeah, it's not what you'd expect at all. He doesn't say, no, you're not. I'm in charge. No, it's just the I'm going to make you question everything.
Yeah,
And
like just the
weird
measured
little hand motion is just.
Yeah, what is with the hand motion? I don't know, but it's cool. I like it. I have no idea.
It's
what does
memorable.
That mean?
I don't.
Yeah,
know.
but palm out on the shoulder. I don't like Mendelssohn's response to it. Like some of the dialogue in this movie, some of the writing is weird to me. Where he says, "Do you feel in charge?" And then he goes, "You're pure evil." It's like that.
Necessary evil. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like it fits that character.
That's a little. Yeah. That's a little theatrical. But then again, he's not he was in the League of Shadows. Okay.
So he's dramatic. He gets a dramatic pass.
Well, they said theatricality. Like, he's initiated. This film, building off what the previous film did, where we talk about sometimes people deserve more than the truth. We have the whole thing where Alfred burns the letter and they lie about Harvey Dent and all of the things, and Batman takes the fall. This film, inverts all of that, right? It all comes back rushing back out. And so we have this, which also I didn't see coming. We have this falling out between Alfred and Bruce, which I thought was an interesting take. Which again, because he loses everything, right? Bruce loses everything at one point in this movie. Loses Alfred, loses his fortune, loses his health, loses the city, all this stuff. But Alfred has a line where he says, "I'm using the truth, Master Wayne. Maybe it's time we all stop trying to outsmart the truth and let it have its day." Which I thought was really interesting, where we kind of not undo the Dark Knight, but it's interesting to have this tension between people deserve more than the truth. And no, actually, the truth is important, and we have to let it out. We have to face it.
All three of these movies do a pretty good job of setting up some pretty uncommon moral quandaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one with Roz pretty much saying we got to kill these people to save humanity. And then the second one bleeding into the third one of, do we lie in order to save this city and make Harvey Dent better than what he is? What's more important, truth or safety type thing?
Yeah.
Or, just Batman's whole shtick of killing versus not killing. I mean, some pretty good thoughts that could come from that,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should set up a Patreon, for $9.95 a month. You can listen to us just do Bane quotes.
Ooh.
All day. You can set it as your ringtone.
There you go.
Whatever.
You can wake up to us doing Bane.
It's not really about the quantity or the quality. It's really about the quantity. We'll just say going. All of them. They'll be bad. They'll be super bad.
Did you have another one you wanted to do?
Oh, yeah. Well, Bane quote, honestly.
Yeah.
I like this one because... okay, so the Batman movie with Bane before, Bane and Poison Ivy, which terrible movie was that?
Batman and Robin, yeah. Batman and Robin. Saw it in the theater.
That movie wrecks Bane so bad because Bane is not just a mindless brute. Bane is as smart, if not maybe smarter in a lot of ways than Batman, comic origins there. And I think this movie does that really well. And it shows a depth to him. So there's a line where Bruce is in the prison for the first time and he says, "Why didn't you just kill me?" Bane says, "You don't fear death, you welcome it." See, I can't even say the line. You got to say it with his voice. "Your punishment must be more severe." Bruce, "Torture," and then Bane, "Yes, but not of your body, of your soul." He says it with such depth, as if he's you can tell I've experienced this in the way he delivers that dialogue, and it is good, and it gives me the tingles. Not the cold pricklies, the warm fuzzies, but the scary warm fuzzies.
Yeah.
What would that be? I need to explore my emotions more.
Well, I know Corey has it.
Yeah.
Corey has a
Bane's got some.
They say that one. Yeah.
He's got some great lines in there, and they're delivered so well. And honestly, Tom Hardy gets so much crap for those lines. He gets made fun of to oblivion, but I thought he was the highlight of this film. He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we're not really talking about facial expressions and stuff yet. We'll talk about that next time. But he acts with his eyes so much in this film because you can't see his mouth. Half of his face you can't see.
Yeah, he is pretty nerfed, and he still does it.
Yeah.
Well, it's his eyes and like his just presence, how he holds his coat
all
like this.
Yep.
That looks so great. Like, wintertime. I'm excited every time wintertime rolls around because I get to hold my coat like that. And like maybe somebody will think I look cool. I probably don't, but I feel cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bane. You did that.
Nice. All right. Here's my last one, and then we'll play a couple from Corey.
Victory has defeated you. Sorry.
That's so good.
I'm just looking at all these quotes now.
Seriously, I know. I just want to rattle them all off. But here's another good one that I thought, like, thematically was really, really cool. Where Jim Gordon and Batman say goodbye, and Jim Gordon says, "I never cared who you were," and Batman says, "And you were right." And Gordon says, "Shouldn't the people know the hero who saved them?" And then Batman says this: "A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know that the world hadn't ended." Oh, you don't like that line?
I don't like it. I don't like it,
love
Craig.
it. Oh, I love it so much.
Like it.
I don't think we don't have to do they get the flashback too, which I know hammers that home, and maybe that's a little on the nose, but I love that because I really liked that scene in Batman Begins. I thought that was a really cool way to introduce Gordon, and the fact that Bruce is acknowledging how important Gordon has been in his life this whole time. Then, like, in a way, like, he's kind of responsible for Batman, right? He kept him going.
Yeah.
So he sees him as a kindred spirit and always has.
Yeah.
You don't like that line.
Can I say mean things now?
Always.
It's like the plane thing. The plane thing is really cool until you think about it. One, Gordon has been a police officer for like several decades. How many young boys do you think he put his coat over to comfort? So he's like, even as something as small as putting your coat on a young boy. Gordon would be like, the heck, man? Like,
I think
that narrows it down to like 50.
I think he's always had suspicions.
But also, if I was Gordon, I'd be like, why didn't you just say your name? Why you gotta be all weird about it, Bruce? Just say, Bruce Wayne, and then fly away. Just do that. Also, wait, pause. Now that we're talking about that scene, Craig, you're trying to stop my rants. I don't want to stop my rants.
Unload the rant.
The biggest missed opportunity in this movie is you could have had a little Easter egg back to the Adam West Batman. When Batman is flying out of the city with that bomb, he could have said, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I know.
What? You missed it. It was right there.
No.
Dang it.
Dang it.
Also, why you locking lips with frickin' Selena Kyle when this thing is about to explode? Literally, the entire city is going to die, and you're like,
there's time. He was on the bomb. You can see how much time it was.
I just don't think you should cut it that close. You're smarter than this, Batman.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? There's this thing's gonna blow up, but her lips are looking real good right now. Let's just finish this.
He's gonna. If he dies, that's the last thing he wants to do.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just kill everyone in the city too. No big deal. Children, whatever.
All right, we got some voicemails, some speak pipe stuff from Corey, which, by the way, listeners, very easy to do if you want to be a part of the show. It's on our website. You just got to click the button and talk. It's super easy.
Yeah, we don't have to hear from Corey every time.
So we got a few, and we'll play them, and then we'll see if we have anything to respond about. So here's Corey's overall thoughts.
Yep. Thank you, Corey.
There you go.
I don't feel like I agree with Corey often. I love Corey, but I don't always agree with his movie takes. But I'm in agreement here, which makes me question my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, he doesn't like Blade Runner and thinks The Gray Man is a great
That's
film.
right. No.
He has a couple of quotes, too. I'm going to play the first one here. See if I don't think we stepped on the same ones. I tried not to, but I don't remember exactly what they were.
All right. If we're going to go for quotes, Craig, you know I'm here for it. Justin, I got you. My first quote I'm going to go with, and you know I love these. I love quotes that have a meaning you can take and apply to real life.
Yes, he does.
Gives the story a little bit of depth. So I'm going to go with, "There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne." When Catwoman's talking to Bruce, and I think the life lesson here that things are inevitably going to change, and the wise person prepares for it rather than fears it. And I think, in my mind, I think Bruce Wayne and Batman are supposed to be the ultimate detective, prepared and ready. And I think for life, that also applies to all of us. I tell you what, there's a lot of change and everything going on, and we all have to be thinking ahead and seeing what's on the horizon and being prepared. There you go. There's my first quote.
That's good. We didn't have that one. Yeah.
That is a good one.
And here's the second quote.
All right, I got one quote for you that I absolutely love from this movie. It is when Bane says, "The shadows betray you because they belong to me." I think that's a great one. I love that quote. I love Tom Hardy in this movie. He just is incredible. Bane is incredible. It's the saving grace of this movie. I think if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for his character, we wouldn't even really talk about this movie. It would not be the great Christopher Nolan film that ends this trilogy, because Tom Hardy makes it this way. So, but I love that. It just kind of shows that he also can master the shadows as well as Batman, which kind of puts Batman on a level playing field, which is very difficult. So, yeah. All right, guys.
I'm so pleased we did not step on his quotes.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bane is the star of this film, in the same way Joker was the star of the last one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're going to pause here because this movie is just dense, and we want to make sure we give it its due. So, if you guys have your favorite quotes, yes, or if you want to do,
I used that word. If you want to do a,
yes, please. If you want to send us a speak pipe with your Bane impression, we'll play it on the show. I will do it.
Wait, no. I was promised refuting of plot holes, Craig. You promised this to me, and there's been no refutings.
No, not yet. But I think we're going to save that. We're going to bury that. Save it for the next time we do this. Yes.
Craig, stringing me along. Don't like this.
So we're going to get out of here. And as we close, we just want to say thanks so much for listening. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook. Email us at readingbetweenreels@gmail.com or use the SpeakPipe app on our website. If you enjoyed the show, please like, follow, subscribe, and be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. And one last thing, our next episode, as we alluded to, will be the conclusion of our breakdown of The Dark Knight Rises, starting with a continuation of our look at the performances in the film. Send us an email or voicemail about your favorite quotes from The Dark Knight Rises or your favorite speak pipes of Bane's voice. Yeah, do that too. We'll share it at the start of the next episode.